Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Today is Sunday, the 14th of May, and I am here to tell you that I have completed my stitching on Kringles for the month of May. I did make my goal today. It did take me until today to get it done because of all the Mother's Day activities that my son and husband have had with me this weekend. It's been wonderful. So I'm going to flip the camera around and kind of just show you what I worked on and kind of where I'm at, and then just very briefly talk about Monday and what I'll be working on Monday. So let me flip you around real quick and show you Kringles, and then I'll come back and talk about plans for next week. Okay, here's Kringles. It's still on the floor stand. I haven't even taken it off yet. But I thought this might be easier to show you what I'm working on. This is the room that I had to do for the month of May. And if you'll recall, I said I wanted to work on the Kringles sign and try to get this Kringles all the way across with each room. So I've done the snowflake here, and I've started the Kringles sign, and I needed to get at least through the R to get this room done all the way down to here. Now, I haven't taken this border on across quite frankly because I want to just do it in one straight line all the way across. I think it'll be smoother like I did the one up here. But I'm excited. Got it done. That was a lot of stitching to cover from here all the way down to here. That's quite a big block. But that's okay. It's working. And the sign is going pretty quick. That's not hard at all. So I'm not mad about putting those two together. I think that was probably the right thing to do. I actually took this with me to our stitching meetup this past Saturday because I was trying really hard to get this part finished and start working on the Kringles. I wound up doing the snowflake mostly while I was there. I frogged that snowflake 3 times before I got it right. This is not a piece that you need to take with you somewhere. This one you need to pay attention to. Now right now this is pretty easy fill-in stitching. I do the letter and then I fill in around it. That I can do on the phone, on a Zoom call, that kind of thing. But otherwise, I don't think I'll be carting it with me to stitch on it until I go to Alabama. I have been requested to bring it to Alabama. They want to see it. So in July, I should be taking it to Alabama with me. But otherwise, it probably will be stitched on here at the house. Okay, let's talk about plans. Well, Monday, Monday start is now a new start because I finished Mr. Mittens before Monday came. So I went through and looked at my WhipGo board, and I have 2 starts for this month on WhipGo. And I decided to pull out the one that is going to be the easiest to do because it has the least number of colors and the least number of stitches. So this one is Stitching is My Heart's Desire. It's a hands-on design. I think it's really cute the way they've made this pillow with a little scissor pocket, but I'm going to be stitching this. That's my plan. And my fabric is a beautiful 32 count Lugana, and it is a Mystic fabric, and the name of it is Pearl. And I think it's going to look great with this piece, don't you? I think that's going to look nice for that. In fact, I already have my DMC pulled. There's only 4 colors of DMC, and there they are. I think that's going to be beautiful. So this will be my start tomorrow. Isn't that wonderful? Since this is a WhipGo goal, of 5 hours. I'm hoping to get started on it and give it some really good time tomorrow. And if I don't get the whole 5 hours, I may take it with me to retreat to finish it up. So that's my plans, and I will let you get back to what you were doing, and I will talk to you soon. Happy stitching, everybody. Well, good evening, everyone. It is the 15th of May, barely, and I am here to talk to you about my May Monday stitching. I got to start a new start today, and I picked this one. Stitching is my heart's desire. I picked it because it was a whip go start, and I felt like that would give me kind of a bang for my buck, that I could get my May Monday start going, and I could work on my whip go call, one of my whip go calls for this month. Believe it or not, it's the first one I've worked on. So this is a hands-on design. Stitching is my heart's desire, and I was doing the larger piece, and I started on it this afternoon, and I stitched on it throughout a Zoom call this evening with some stitching friends. My friends Julie and Nicole and Donna and I stitched for a while this evening, and then afterwards I continued stitching with my friend Donna for a little bit longer while she was working on a project, and she stayed right with me till I finished it. So thank you, Donna. But here it is. So my May Monday start is complete, and my whip go goal is complete. I stitched a total of 689 stitches to complete this, and my whip go goal was 5 hours, and I will tell you that that's about what it took me to stitch this. Right at 5 hours, maybe a little bit more, but it's done. So I'm pretty excited about that. I got it done. I think it's beautiful. I love the colors, and I think that the flowers are really interesting. Kind of funky. I like them. So there you have it. May Monday's complete. My first whip go is complete for this month's call, and I am delighted to get both of those done. In addition to that, I actually used this new start in one of my acrostics as well. So I met one of my letters in the acrostic, and it was for S, for stitching is my heart's desire. And so I got that done as well. So it's been a red letter day. I'm excited to do that. Well, I'm going to let you get back to what you were doing. It is very late here. It's a little after midnight now that I've been talking with you a few minutes. That's how close I was on this one. But tomorrow's a great day. I'm going to get my hair cut, and then my husband and I are planning on having our passport pictures made because we have to renew our passports, and it's you have to do them kind of early, so we have to get those off as soon as possible, and we're going to try to do that tomorrow. Then it's all steam ahead, getting packed for the retreat, getting ready to go. Donna and I spoke this evening about our timetable and when we're going where, when, and so I think we're all set on that. I have thought about what I'm taking with me. I have changed my mind on it a couple of times. I'll still reserve the right to change it up until the moment I put it in the suitcase. So, but I just think it's important that I take enough with me to have some things to stitch on, depending on, you know, what the mood strikes, and also some of the prompts I'm working on. So I will finalize that up probably tomorrow, and that way because it will affect what I stitch on here for the next couple of days, so that I don't stitch on the things I'm going to take with me. That way I won't have just stitched on them and feel like I just did this. So I'll share that with you hopefully tomorrow. And in the meantime, happy stitching. Hello everyone, welcome back. It is Tuesday, May the 16th, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about my stitching for the day and my plans on what I'm taking with me to the retreat this weekend. Let's talk first about what's obvious to you. I got a haircut. Every now and then I'll do something kind of quirky, short for the summer, just something different. And so today we decided to do an asymmetrical cut. So I'll have a new look for a little while. Anyway, once I got home, I looked at my prompts. I looked at my spreadsheet where I track my progress, what I need to work on, you know, what I'm using each of my projects for, like which prompts. And I noticed today that I had used one of my projects for 3 prompts. And I had decided to use my coupon in my Daily 30 group that is a 200 stitch discount, and we get to use it once in the month for a monthly challenge. And the only monthly challenge that I'm doing in that group this month is their acrostic. So I looked in the acrostic and I decided that the piece I wanted to use my discount for is one that is a little gnarly to work on. It's a hand-drawn pattern. It's a lot of blends. So you know I'm talking about Nativity from Teresa Wentzler. So I applied my coupon that gives me a credit of 200 stitches. And that meant to meet the requirement of 300 stitches, I had to stitch 100 stitches today. My project was also going to meet 2 additional prompts, one in my monthly magazine challenge acrostic and one in the 24 hours of cross stitch acrostic. Neither of those have a minimum requirement. So the fact that I was going to stitch 100 stitches in this today was going to be fine, and I would meet 3 prompts with this one thing, which was great. So I actually pulled out my piece and I said, I have the perfect thing I'm going to do. And it turned out to be 108 stitches, perfection. So here's what I did. I replicated these medallions that are over here in this border on this side, and they're 36 stitches a piece. So that was 108 to do 3 of them. You can see over here I have gone and stitched more of this border than this one because I haven't gone and done those little ones yet, because I had enough stitches with 108 to meet this prompt. Now, I don't work on this one as much as I do others, I think, because I have this mental block that it's going to be hard, because it is hand-drawn and because of the blends, and it is a heavy stitch piece, and it's a lot of confetti. So it's got a lot of things that make it a challenge for me to stitch, but I love it and I want to stitch it, and I'm going to finish it someday. So I just wanted to let you know that my plans are to work on this one in small pieces, but in July I'm hoping to do a little bit of a Christmas focus, and I'm hoping to give this one a lot of love in July. So you may get to see it a whole lot that month. We'll see. That's my stitching for the day. My husband's ready for supper. I need to go get that taken care of, and I don't know whether I'll be able to stitch any more tonight or not, but you know the drill. If I do, you'll be the first to know. Happy stitching, everybody. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. It is Monday, May 22nd, and I got home from Fort Lauderdale late last night and got a great night's sleep, and now I'm ready to share with you about the retreat. I have all sorts of things to share with you. I have things from the swag bag. I'll go through quickly because you'll probably see it from several people. Uh, I have gifts from our table mates. I have gifts from other people at the retreat that gave out things to everyone that I'll tell you a little bit about. I had some personal stitchy kindness, which was overwhelming. And then, of course, I have a little haul. And then I have stitching to share with you. I did stitch at the retreat. I stitched some during the day. I stitched quite a bit at late night stitching. So I'll tell you about everything. Grab something to drink. I have a lot to share, so I'll try to do it as quickly as I can. But I want you to get to see it and experience it. I will go ahead and tell you it was a fabulous retreat. It was well organized. We had a lovely space. The shop was phenomenal. That just impressed me so much. The way that everything was grouped, you had the model on the table, and then you would have the pattern right there, and you would have, if they had it, the called for fabric would be right there on the table, and you would have a floss pack where Gary and Ronnie had just pulled all the floss together. So if you wanted to stitch that, you grab the pattern, the fabric, and your floss, and you're good to go. And you didn't have to go anywhere else to find it. It was right there on the table. And they did that with everything they could. Some of the trunk shows, they got a little bit later on and they didn't have time to pull floss packs for them. You know, just for our convenience. This isn't something they'll be selling all the time on their website. They did it just for us, just to make shopping easier and more convenient. And I told Gary, I thought that was one of the hits for me. That was a highlight for me. It was easy. So anyway, that being said, as far as it was a great retreat, we had a great time. So I'll tell you a little bit about it. We got there, you registered, you got your swag bag, of course. And this is the bag that we got. Stitching in the Wild 2023 with the logo on it. And I'll tell you, someone designed this for Gary, and he cross-stitched this on a huge piece of fabric and had it on a roller frame. And we all got to stitch our initials in it for the first year. It was so awesome. And then, of course, we needed a little work container, trash bag. So we had our own little trash container that came with it. Of course, you had your ever popular name tag. Thank you for that, because, you know, you meet a lot of people and you can't remember everybody. And so it was great to have a name tag so it would help remind you of everyone. And then you had your floss ring, of course, keychain, or whatever you want to use it for. We had a pen in case we needed a pen, and it even has the Garan logo on it, and of course, it's got green in it. And we had a little notions pouch, and they were different patterns, you know, on the fabric, but isn't that precious? I love these bright colors. It was wonderful. And in our pack, we had some patterns. These were patterns designed for the retreat. You'll see these more on Gary's, probably Gary's wrap up, but this one was from Fox and Rabbit. Two of the ladies at our table started this while we were there. And one of them actually had some of her own hand-dyed fabric with her in case she found a pattern she wanted to stitch on it. And that's the one she started on it. It looked great. And this is from Romy's Creations, Stitching in the Wild. Is that not the funniest thing you've seen? I thought that was really cute. Several people started this one as well. And then there were 2 free patterns that were given to us by the featured designer, a new designer, and her name is Holly, and her she designs under Stitchy Prose, Prose. And the first one that I'm going to show you, just really quick, is Be Wild. It's a bee. And then she had one of a pig, Hog Wild for cross stitch. And so she, I believe, is going to release these in the coming months from her own website where she does her stitching. You can find her on Instagram, and you can find her on a website, and she has her looks like a contact information here. So I will put all that in the drop down box for you. But Holly is a lovely young woman, and she's fairly new to designing. I think about 3 years she's been making her own patterns and designs, and she's got a great aesthetic. I liked it. She had a trunk show there, and we got to see her work. It was wonderful. We got to meet and talk with her, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Holly, it was great to meet you if you watch. Um, our table mates spoiled us. Our table mates just kept going by throughout the whole retreat. Some chose the first day, some chose the second, some chose the third, to leave things on your table. You know, they just leave one for everybody. Some people did it for everybody there. Some people did it just for their table. It was all appreciated. So I'll share a few things with you sort of in categories so it won't take as long because we could be here all day. I got several wonderful floss drops. This one is a beautiful copy of part of their stitching, and because it has a bee on it, my charm I have on here on the ring is a bee. But they went ahead, this is from Stitchy Pros. She put the information on the back for your project name, for your floss number, and the brand. I thought that was a great touch. So this was her gift to everybody at the retreat. One of our table mates decided to make her floss drops and gave one to everybody. She took a deck of playing cards, an old deck of playing cards, and then she superimposed this on the back and made us a Stitching in the Wild floss. And what I would probably do with that would be to put it on a project and, you know, put the project name on the back or something to be my first card there. This is made by Diane McClure, and she took a beautiful card stock and made it like a junk journaling style, and she has the holes down one side for your floss, and on the back, y'all, a needle minder to keep your thread, to keep your needle with your threads. That's really pretty, and that will be so great for a you know, small project. Also, you'll see these little white circles on the back. If you write on them in pencil what your color is that you're working with, or the symbol that you, if you prefer symbols, then you can just erase it and you can reuse it over and over again. That was very clever. Like that a lot. We got a needle minder in the form of a stick pin with the little magnet right on the top, and that's a, if you can see it, Mickey Mouse head. It's designed so that you stick it down in the arm of your chair if you have a fabric chair that you're sitting in, like a recliner. And then you can sit your needle right on top, right at your fingertips. I thought that was clever. And then we got several things in bags. Most of them included candy, so I'll show you this. This is an orc catcher that someone actually crocheted, and we had a couple of pieces of candy in that one. This one came with a needle minder from Garan. This was in our swag bag, or I think it was in the swag bag, or it was on the table. But it says Garan tote bag, and then it has candy in it. This one was gifted to us from Laura Vargas, and she was from Costa Rica, and she actually packaged us up a, I'm going to open it so I can show it to you. Give me just a second. She got us a scissor fob that she made with their flag colors, and mine has a sewing machine has my charm on it. And we have candy from Costa Rica. Different flavors that they like. And I can't wait to try them. I'm going to share these with my son as well because y'all know he loves to try different flavors from different countries. And so that was candy. Then we got this beautiful little bag here that had Lollipop and Jolly Ranchers and Jolly Ranchers, sorry. And I saved it because I want to keep it in my craft room. We received from Romy's Creation what Gary has told us about are the Garon colors. So he showed us, again, the picture, he had showed it on his channel, but I got to see it close up, the picture of his house where they had these colors on the outside of their home, and she didn't even know that, and so it was just obvious that those were Gary colors and Ronnie colors. And then Snickerdoodle Cross Stitch. She is a cutie, and we got a needle minder from her, and I was listening to one of my table mates who has tried to make these, discussing with her how hard it is to keep it clear and not to have bubbles and things in it, and they were discussing strategy on that, so that was quite interesting. I was listening. And then from my table mate, Donna, my friend Donna that went with me, we got several things. She gave us Post-it notes with a pen in case we needed to write notes. And she graciously gifted everybody an Easy Guide ball tip needle pack, so everyone could try it if they hadn't already. And then I got stickers. This is Zizuk Stitch. And this one was in an envelope full of stickers, and they put it at your table and said, pass it around and pick the one you want. It's for your book of days or your calendar, that kind of thing. One of our table mates gifted us rose gold scissors on a ring with a carabiner, so we could easily attach it to our backpack and it would be very secure. I thought that was a great idea. I had a friend of mine, Karen, sorry for the crinkle. I'll see if you can tell what they are in the bag. They're those clips that we like to use when we quilt or sew. She was giving those out to everybody, and she was gracious enough to give me a group of them. And one of our attendees gave everyone a waxer. And I love these kind because they've got little grooves in the side, and you just run your thread through there, and it keeps you from having to touch the wax. You're not holding the wax. And she put it in this cute little bag. I kept this to show you. This cute little bag that had the holes punched in it, and she tied it with twine around a button. So I have a button for my button stash as well. So I had given everyone floss drops that had cocoa on them, of course, because she's my girl. XJU Designs, I understand when you order fabric from her, she'll take a scrap and she may send it to you of the same color so you can take it with you shopping to match your threads and things like that. So she sent a whole pack of those, and we were gifted an envelope of them, and it went around the table, and you got to pick what color you wanted. And my color is Witch's Brew. Isn't that cute? And it's actually folded, so it's double this size. It's a nice little size, but I think it's so cute I didn't want to open it yet. So that's all the kind of the little things that we got on the table, you know, the little things like that. And then I got some Stitchy Kindness from friends. I didn't get their permission to share that with anybody, and they're personal gifts, so I'm not going to share it with you. But I got some wonderful, wonderful gifts from friends that were there, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to really pull them out and play with them. But I'll show you the bag. Isn't that beautiful? And this one actually has a beaded zipper pull that says Dina. Has my name on it, y'all. So awesome. And then I got an Ort keeper that was made by one of our attendees, and you just fold up the sides, you know, and snap them, and it becomes the little square. And so I left it flat for ease in travel, but I'm gonna fold that up and put that in my travel bag. And then I'm gonna tell this one whether she didn't give me permission, but I don't think she'll mind. Carolyn Zook had one of these in her stash, and she knew that I loved them. And she brought this and said, "Do you want this?" And I said, "Yes." I grabbed it right up. In fact, she didn't know this, but just about a week ago, I went online trying to find these again to see if anybody might have them for sale on Destashing or, you know, Etsy or something, and I didn't have any luck. And so when she came up and gave me this, I just got a big kick out of that because I had been wanting another one. This one was a big surprise, and it was so, so kind. But a lady who watches my channel, Linda Keith, gave me a sweet, sweet card. Isn't that beautiful? So Americana, I love it. And she wrote me a precious note in it. And she was basically, you know, thanking me for taking the time to do these videos and appreciating effort that goes into that. But y'all, she cross-stitched and made me, because she knows Christmas is one of my favorite seasons. She made me this ornament. She didn't cross-stitch one side. She cross-stitched both. The finishing on this is absolutely beautiful. Just beautiful. I love the fabrics. The colors are gorgeous. So I'm going to wrap this up and put it with my cross-stitched Christmas ornaments and put it out this coming year. So Linda, thank you so very much. That was very kind, very kind. Okay. My next section is the exchange. Oh my goodness, y'all. We have some talented people in our stitching community. And I will insert a video, a little snippet right after I talk about it so you can see all of them together on the table. But the way that we did the exchange is we went to a table that had a bowl with little wooden balls in it, little tiny ones, and they were bingo. They had the letter and number for playing bingo. And Gary had an app on his phone where he could just hit it and it would give a new bingo number. So he would just call out the numbers until one of us had it. And then we'd go up and grab our gift of choice. And the instructions were stitch whatever you want that is wild to you. And wrap it in a way that kind of gives a hint to the person picking. You know, if it's Christmas, wrap it in Christmas. If it's Halloween, wrap it in something that would evoke Halloween. Mine, I actually chose because it was wrapped. It wasn't in a bag. And I tend to like to wrap gifts for people. And so that spoke to me because I like to wrap with paper, you know, and ribbons and bows and stuff. I'll use gift bags too, but this one, it just caught my eye because it was wrapped. And it had a, just a beautiful, beautiful piece in it. Stitch all the things. Whips, Sal, FFO. And this individual added Garon Stitchery, Stitching in the Wild 2023 on it. Finished it. Beautiful blue color. And even put me a little flower on the bottom. Isn't that precious? I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And so I have a picture with the woman who made this for me. She didn't know it was for me, but she made it. This was her exchange piece, and I went and found her, and we met, and we talked about it, and we got our pictures made together. So I will pop that in here. It was funny too because the young woman who won my exchange was Holly, for our new designer that we were focusing on or featuring.
I don't know who got it.
And I need to go get my camera, so I'll take it. Is that not it? That's oh my God. It's stunning. Oh my God. It's absolutely stunning.
Everybody's name is rolling in my head.
It's like a meal with like that they do on bags. That one's amazing.
Our fabric supplier there was Stephanie from Fabrics by Steph, and I picked up a piece of her blue sky. She had it in 32 count Lugana, and you know that's my thing. So I went ahead and picked this up. Now this piece is not big enough. It won't stitch the whole of what I wanted to get it for. So I may contact her and get another piece, or I may look in my stash and see if I've got something really, really close, because I have a plan for it. I'll share that with you here. This is the little green bag you get when you buy stuff. I'm gonna do the Polar Express. My friend Mary has asked my friend Donna and I to stitch this grouping with her. And so they had all 5 of them out there. Now, you know, you get the 6th one online because it goes to the Special Olympics. So I will tell you that. And then I have a good friend who lives at the beach. Well, not on the beach, but lives in Florida. And she does watercolors for me. And she recently did a portrait of Coco in watercolor that is gorgeous. And I saw this pattern and I thought, I have to do this for her as a thank you. So I picked this up from a hands-on design called Coastal Holiday. Isn't that beautiful? So that's going to be for her. And then, remember I said that they had little packs together for what you need? Well, this calls for color and cotton floss. I don't have any color and cotton floss, but I do now because this was hanging right next to the pattern. It's everything I need for those all put together, ready to go. Couldn't have been easier. I would have had to order all that. I bought this from Stitchy Pros. She designed this. It's a corner gauge. I only have one. You can't have just one. And it has Stitching in the Wild on it. And I know it's from her. So I love that. That was sort of my souvenir for the thing. And then I had looked at these before. These are berry toppers. And I had looked for one when I did my berry for my exchange at the library last year. And I wasn't sure of the size. I wasn't sure how it would fit on my berry. So when I could see them in person, I decided I wanted to try one. So I picked that up. I'll put my little things back in my little green bag to keep them all together here. And I have something really, really cute to show you. I thought about this. I didn't get it the first day. The shop was open 5 different times in the course of the weekend, which I thought was fabulous because it really gave you time to go in and look and think and, you know, figure out what you want. And Gary and Ronnie would give you a bag and let you start filling it up, and then you could come back later, you know, and cash out. And that was really, really good. I got this. I hadn't seen this before. And I do bead, but it's hard to take projects with me to stitching meetups that require beads because it's too much trouble to carry everything with me. This looks like a business card holder. It really looks like that. That's probably what they used. Okay, they got this from Accoutrement Designs. This is who Gary and Ronnie had designed this for them. But on the inside is your sticky mat on this side and your magnet here for your needles, your beading needles. So you can put your beads that you want to bead while you're gone if you're going to work on something at the stitching, or just even at your chair if you want something smaller than a big tacky bob, or is it tacky bill now? Anyway, I loved it. And you close it right up and everything is there. Very compact, would fit in your stitching bag and allow you to take your beading with you, which I think is awesome. I just thought it was precious and so practical. So I wanted that, and I got that at the shop. You know, there's always spirit wear. So I got a Garon t-shirt, and this one is long sleeved, which is good for me. I don't wear a lot of t-shirts, but I like them in the winter. Long sleeve ones in the winter. So I got that. And then we had bags for sale. They did. We had the opportunity to purchase the Garon bags. And I just adored this one. I loved it. I love the colors. Bright and pretty, and look at the confetti on the inside. So pretty. I love it. So I picked up this to add to my stash of bags because, you know, as I get new projects, I have to do that. And my friend Donna gave me a Roomy gift. Look at this cute puppy dog fabric. And then you open it up and there's a place here to put things. There's your mesh pocket, and then there's a place for your pens and pencils. And you know, I love my pens and pencils. I love my twistables, and Donna knows that. She got me a whole pack of them. And she tucked in here things I might need. Needle minders, bow and needles, and a little tiny pair of scissors. And this is designed to be a little travel pack for you. You pack it up, put all your stuff in it to take with you, so that when you get ready to take a project with you, you just grab it and go. You have it all ready to go. I love it. Thank you, Donna. That was really, really sweet and kind. All right. That brings me to whips. So you've seen all the goodies I came home with. Now let's see, what did I do? What did I accomplish? So the first project I stitched on right when I got there was my Quaker, Halloween Quaker. And from Lila's Studio. That's what it's going to look like when it's finished, I hope. Close to that. And I had a prompt to stitch for. Yes, I still looked at prompts while I was there. I planned what I was taking with me, so I would be stitching toward prompts. That's just what I do. So I had on one of my acrostics for the, it was actually the Borealis in the magazine, monthly magazine challenge. And I had, for the O in Borealis, I had to stitch one motif on Halloween Quaker. And so I pulled it out, and the motif that I stitched is this owl. It wasn't just a little teeny tiny one. It was a decent size motif. In fact, it was 174 stitches. I counted them. And so now I can take a picture of that and post it. Now that I'm home, I'll do some posting to my Facebook groups for the prompts. I didn't do that while I was down there. I was in the moment. I didn't film. I didn't take any segments of film because I just was enjoying talking with everyone and stitching with everyone. And Donna asked me, she said, "You haven't filmed anything?" And I said, "No, I'm just enjoying it. I'm just enjoying the moment." So I'll film today, which is what I'm doing. Then the next thing I brought out, I guess I was on a Halloween quick kick. It was probably because Gary was there, and I know he likes Halloween, and he was late night stitching with us. So I did another section for my Casting a Spell by Blackbird Designs, and I stitched this. I had 1 side and a half of the border done. That's what I had done when I went down there. And so I stitched 338 stitches to finish that one. This one's done. It becomes a little pillow. The rest of the alphabet is on the next pillow, which I will roll this up and do the next pillow. I'm hoping that I have enough of this fabric to do all of them. I thought I would when I started. I think I will. But anyway, that's what I got done from Casting a Spell. Then the next one that I picked up was a sampler for All Seasons. And I brought it because originally, you know, Glow and I started this together, my friend Glow, and we were going to stitch on it together at the retreat. And I think we were going to have another new start at the retreat, but since she didn't come, I didn't take a new start, but I did want to stitch on this and get a little progress on it. And I'll show you what it looks like. It's from the Scarlet house. I got it in a, I think it was a limited edition kits. And so it came with the fabric and the fibers. So I had started this with Glow, and I started in the top left corner, and when we were at the retreat, I'll show you what I stitched. This is a fox and rabbit fabric. It's beautiful. Mine is Ada, and it is 16 count Ada, and the fabric name is Steinbeck. And I got Ada because I loved the way that the modeling showed up on the Ada. I thought it was really pretty. So what I stitched were these 2 outer trees, because they were a different color. This one had been stitched, but these were the same color, but different from there. So I put that floss on my needle, and I did both trees, and that finished the bottom portion. So then I went up here, and I did all the snow, every bit of it. So I did 393 stitches in that one. Now, this is funny because my friend Donna was sitting at the table on the last day we were stitching, and she said, "Oh, how many stitches have you got in that one now?" And you know, I would tell her, and she said, "I bet you're gonna come out of here with about 1,000 stitches." But I did. I hit it, so I wasn't trying for it, but it was funny that she said that because I knew I had stitched, you know, 338 stitches in Casting a Spell, and I had stitched 393 stitches in Sampler for All Seasons, and I was working on By the Bay, and By the Bay has big blocks of color, and I knew I was going to get good stitching on it, and I did. I got actually 519 stitches over 2 days because I worked on this one on 2 different days because the last day I was just kind of stitching until we had to leave, and I didn't want to start. I had one more project to stitch on, but I didn't want to start it and only have a little bit of time to work on it. So I just brought it back home for another time. But if you recall, I finished the first part, and it's right here. And the reason I can tell it's right there is that I have another row to stitch here in this color when my thread ran out, and that's where I'm meeting. So that's where the change was. And so anyway, I'll keep going this way for part 2. This began part 2, but this is what I stitched on those 2 days. I got all that done in my By the Bay. So, you know, there's the first one over there, and it's just continuing on into the second one. So that was a lot of fun. So I got some stitching in. I really did, and I'm very proud of that. I'm glad I was able to get some stitching in while we were visiting and having a good time. So I got to meet a couple of floss tubers that I watch, and I'm sure you do. Carolyn Zook was one of them I got to meet. We had a ball. We actually got to have lunch together the last day, and we shared an Uber. Carolyn and I think it was Diane, Donna, and I. We were all going different places. Donna and I, of course, were coming to Atlanta, but the other two were going to different cities. But our flights were close enough that we just went ahead and shared an Uber back to the airport on Sunday, and that was great. That was good fun. Met Candy Kerr, the 614 stitcher. I had such a good time meeting Candy. I had wanted to meet her, and because we've chatted back and forth, we've been in Zoom, you know, stitching together, and I just knew we would hit it off. I felt like we would. And Candy, it was such a pleasure to meet you. I had such a good time. Yay! We got to have dinner with Candy one night, Donna and I was tickled about that. Most of us ate there at the hotel for dinner at least once. Donna and I ate there every night. We didn't get a rental car, and the food was good, and they had a great variety. So we just went there for dinner, and then we didn't have to walk anywhere. We didn't have to get an Uber. It was convenient. It was very good. So anyway, I got to meet her. Got to meet Diane, Mondot Stitches. I've been following her channel forever, ever since I think she started. But I was so grateful to get to chat with her a couple of times while we were there, and got an update on how all her kids are doing and where they are now. And got to see her beautiful stitching. Diane brought several of her mirrors for the brag table, and I'm so glad she did. I don't know if she knows this or not. I hope they told her. But 2 of the ladies at our table were sisters. We called them the sisters the whole time. One of them, the younger of the 2, really, really wants to stitch a mirror. She's never stitched one. Well, she's only been stitching a year. You would not know that. Her stitching is beautiful. And she's already up to 40 count, and, you know, she's stitching as if she's been doing it 20 years. But she hasn't done a mirror yet, and she wants to do it. So having Diane's mirrors there really showed her what they look like. She fell in love with Raven Queen because of the background. She loves seeing the pretty ladies, but the fact that there was this gorgeous background with it, that really spoke to her. I hope she goes and gets one and then stitches it. It would be great. I got to see Deb. You know, Deb sometimes will be on the Sunshine Stitchers videos. I asked her why she didn't just do it every week with them, but apparently she lives a little distance away, and so Deb has to drive at least an hour, I think it was, maybe a little more, to get to their home where they film at Sheila's. So she's trying to do it about once a month. So I'm hoping to get to see her all the more. Donna and I got there on Thursday late because Donna didn't want to take Wednesday off. She's saving some time to help her son move at some point, because he's in the military and he'll be moved to his last station this summer. And so she's trying to save some vacation time. So we didn't take Wednesday to travel. We didn't travel till Thursday morning. So we got there late Thursday afternoon. And when we came in, Gary said, "Oh, there's 2 chairs together right here at this front table." And we sat down at a table. We didn't know anybody. And it turned out that we met the 2 sisters who are new stitchers. Both of them have been stitching no longer than 18 months. And then we met a mother and a daughter, Christine and Sarah. Christine's been stitching for a long time, but Sarah is a new stitcher. And it was their first retreat. It was the sisters' first retreat. There was a lady sitting next to me named Jackie, and she was supposed to meet a good friend there, and her friend came down with COVID and couldn't come. So she was right by herself, and she had traveled a good distance to get there. And we wound up at the same table she was sitting at, and it was her first stitching retreat. She had been to quilt retreats, but never a cross stitch retreat. So this was her first cross stitch retreat, and that was great. We had a good time getting to know her. So Donna and I were the seasoned retreat goers, I guess, at the table. And we had so much fun answering questions and helping kind of talk with them about their first impressions and what was it like, for the going to their first retreat. And I do think they all had a really, really good time. So I'm real happy about that. Ronnie and Gary gave out door prizes that had been donated by some of their sponsors, their vendors that sent them free patterns. There were two sponsors, or two designers rather, that designed some exclusive patterns for the retreat, and they'll remain exclusive for a short time. But watch Gary's video to see them, because I haven't gotten mine yet, but you can order them. You can order them even though you weren't at the retreat. Gary has some, and until they run out, you can order them from Gary and Ronnie at Garon. So go check them out. They're beautiful. We had door prizes, though, too, from Ronnie and Gary. Ronnie had bags that were door prizes. Oh, my goodness. They were beautiful. Our table did not win a thing. Nobody at our table won a door prize. Not one. So we were teasing Ronnie about that. And the next thing you know, the last day, he goes and gets a big glass bowl, and he goes around the room and says, if you have not won a door prize, write the name on the back of your ticket and put in this bowl. So then one of the retreat goers said, oh, it's the loser's bowl. That was funny. And it was. And we still didn't win. None of us won. So anyway, y'all, we had a great time. I had a great time, and I'm excited now to put all my things in my stash and to make my post for my stitching and kind of look and see what the new prompts are, so that I can kind of settle back in, and get to stitching. I hope you've been stitching. I hope you've been stitching while I've been talking, but it's important, I think, that we share what a great opportunity we have when we get to go and stitch with others. Thanks, Ronnie and Gary, for a great retreat. I look forward to next year. Happy stitching, everybody.
What do you want? Oh my goodness.